to laugh as tears go by. I wonder if you know what it's like to be in this skin. To hold God in your heart while the world simultaneously tells you that your life is a sin. I really wonder if you know how many men and women long to live their lives out loud, proud. How I long to be standing in a crowd without fear or doubt of who I really am, to feel safe for once. To be in a room of varied opinions and not stick out like a sore thumb. These bandages I've wrapped around my hands have become hopelessly connected to the concrete. Fighting to live outside of these walls in this box you've been determined to put me in. Confession: I don't like labels. I have intersecting identities, as we all do, but for some reason, half of mine seem to bother you. My truth makes you uncomfortable. And no matter how many times I try to welcome you in, you push me further and further away. There's a whole community of people waiting to be loved and accepted as they are. People, humans, actual living and breathing beings who bleed just like you. Longing to just exist and resist the foundations of supremacy, loud and proud with rainbows and flags, was not the original intent. So excuse us if we don this pride like a badge of honor, because it is. We wear it because they couldn't. The ones who came before. Paving a way and standing up against policing, wouldn't you expect a community to do that? To lock arms and protect each other's rights to just be? For religion, for race, for creed, diversity, sexuality. My dear land of the free, you are showing your true colors again. I may not always sing in tune, and sometimes you don't hear me, but you don't have to be near me to know that I'm singing. This is my song, and no one can make it die. And I wonder if you know what it means to live your life with pride. Thank you.
I know it's really not a thing for cities to have a poet laureate, but if it were, I would impress upon Madam Mayor to consider my friend Love Rains. Thank you so much. Friends, I'm Jimmy Midyett. I don't think I said my name earlier. I am very honored to work here in this building for this mayor as the Assistant Director of the Jacksonville Human Rights Commission. And thank you. And I'll tell you, we work every single day to make sure that the promise of these colors, and frankly those too, are met and upheld in this city that we love. So I appreciate the opportunity to do this work. So I titled my talk today, The Spirit of Stonewall. And this is going to be quick, but it's going to take us through some interesting times in Jacksonville history and bring us up to the present moment. So I'm very proud, as I said earlier, to welcome you all here to City Hall on this, to commemorate this 56th anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising, which occurred in New York's Greenwich Village back in the summer of 1969, before my time. There, gay and trans people, long discriminated against, harassed and oppressed, risked everything to declare that finally enough is enough, and to stand up to the forces that treated them as second-class citizens in their own home. Each June, we honor those brave activists who stood up, acted up, and changed the world for LGBT people. I often wonder what it was like in Jacksonville that summer, hearing about Stonewall. You might turn on Channel 4 or Channel 12, or read in the Times-Union or the Jacksonville Journal about this Stonewall uprising, these drag queens and sissies up in New York who were fighting back against oppression. And interestingly enough, you know, Jacksonville has always been a magnet for LGBT people. People over the many years have come here to live and to work and to play. Our ports, our railroads, and our highways have made Jacksonville a global crossroads. And it was the same in the 1970s as it is today. Back in those days, in the 1970s, our first Pride celebration in Jacksonville took place at Willow Branch Park in Riverside. That park has become sacred ground for this LGBT community, and I thank my friend Richard Cirillo and his friends at the AIDS Memorial Project who are taking care of that space. In the 60s and 70s, folks may remember going to clubs, nightclubs owned by Bo Bowen or Monroe Midyet. They and others created welcoming spaces for the LGBT community at locations like Bo's Coral Reef, the French Quarter, or Club OP Jack's right over here off of Jefferson and Bay. As the 70s gave way to the 80s, the AIDS crisis cast a shadow over our community here. It was a time marked by loss and stigma, yet always met with resilience. The Northeast Florida AIDS Network quickly formed early in 1980, and there were leaders that came through that space, including Dick Neiman, Frida Saraga, Donna Fuchs. How interesting. These leaders were often women, right? Who tended to the sick, organized the community, and kept the spirit of Stonewall alive, passing it on to a new generation of LGBT activists in the 90s. The 90s is where it gets interesting for me because that's when I kind of paid attention. The 90s began with the Floridians United Against Discrimination, which was an organization statewide that was built in response to political challenges at the time. That early Florida gay rights advocacy from Jacksonville to Key West, from Tampa to Tallahassee, laid the ground for a lot of the work that followed. And it began as an opportunity for people to come together, and it actually led to the formation, ultimately, of Equality Florida, which is a huge statewide organization. We've got a couple of Equality Florida staffers here, Mason Mannion, and Charlie I saw somewhere. And Jasmine, founded in 1994, began providing critical support for LGBT youth, including myself. In 1997, and we're almost there, in 1997, Jacksonville's first Pride Parade stepped off right here in downtown Jacksonville. As we marched through the streets of downtown, past the Maxwell House Coffee Building, I will never forget a banner that they had hung there to congratulate and welcome the gay community. That was very meaningful. So when I go out and smell the coffee roasting, I always think back with pride to that moment. And I'll tell you what, this little parade in '97, it was a puny affair. There were maybe a few dozen of us, and it was measured by today's Pride Parade that we have in Jacksonville, River City Pride, it was scant. But what it was for us, those who were there, it was transformative. It was empowering. We were doing something. We were making a difference, and I'll never forget that feeling. The other thing I won't forget were some of the chants that we had that day. Cindy Watson was there banging on her drum, leading the Jasmine contingent just like a mother hen. And one of the chants went, 2468. How do you know your grandma's straight? And I will always remember that. I think Cindy came up with that chant, and here she is today with her wife, Garnet Harrison, and their little grandson. And you know, that was a prophetic vision. How do you know your grandma's straight? So, as I conclude, I smile thinking about some future day. Some future day when someone like me, standing in a place like this, recounting Jacksonville's later LGBTQ plus history. They might mention the Jacksonville Coalition for Equality, which of course worked for many long years to secure and pass our human rights ordinance. They may note that barriers have been broken down since then, including by when Mayor Donna Deegan was the Grand Marshal of the River City Pride Parade. Or when she initiated this annual Pride celebration right here in City Hall, or as recently when she was at the U.S. Conference of Mayors and sat on a panel related to LGBTQ issues. I'm so proud of her. And I know that future person looking back will highlight what we're doing here today, part of what we're doing here today, which was when she established Jacksonville's very first LGBTQ Advisory Board. And speaking of that, as we honor the spirit of Stonewall, let us all together recommit to a Jacksonville where everyone can live authentically and proudly, where the values that we're taught at home, maybe by people like my mom over there, Louise Midyet, where the values that we're taught at home are the same values that we bring out into public and make sure that everyone is offered the chance to participate. Everyone has a chance to be part of what we're doing here together. And so with all that said, I'm going to now ask our mayor, our friend, our champion, Mayor Donna Deegan, to come up and catch us up on some of that future history and maybe as she's done so many times, break a little news. Who knows? Mayor Donna Deegan.
See, I've got the big type on mine too, but Jimmy has outdone me in his. You got to see his book. He has double-spaced big words on his. And I was around in 1969, by the way. Thank you, Jimmy. That was wonderful history, and I really appreciate you sharing it with all of us. Thank you for the kind words. Happy Pride Month, everybody. Jacksonville's second official Pride Month event, and I hope you all caught a glimpse of that beautiful pride flag flying atop City Hall on your way in. Thank you for showing up, not just today, but every day, to celebrate the fact that each one of us, regardless of who we are or who we love, brings something very special to our city. Pride Month is a time to celebrate the resilience, the creativity, the courage of our LGBTQ community. It is also a time to honor those who came before us, those living authentically today, and those still fighting for a more just tomorrow. As many of you know, one of the mantras I try to lead by is love over fear, because love and unity are our only path forward. We'll be the city that we are meant to be if we have love for each other. Fear and division will never get us there. And in that spirit, it is important that we strengthen the relationship between Jacksonville's LGBTQ community and our city government. When I was running for mayor, I attended a Black Voters Matter forum hosted by Paige Mahogany Parks and others. During the Q&A, Stanley McAllister asked if I would create an LGBTQ board of advisors, and I gave an emphatic yes. It's with great pride that we are keeping that promise today as we announce the membership of the mayor's LGBTQ Advisory Committee. Thank you. These 11 leaders will be tasked with providing recommendations to further engage with the LGBTQ community and bring more people into the civic process. So, without further ado, here are the inaugural members. Please stand and wave if you're here. Jacob Eliezer, Clinical Director of the Transgender and Intersex Specialty Clinic at Mayo and Assistant Professor at Mayo Clinic College of Medicine and Science. Jacob here? Okay. Oh, my pal Amy Glassman, a Senior Program Associate with the Aspen Institute, founder of the Acosta Bridge Pride March and well-known social change advocate. Amy, are you here? Where's Amy? No? No, Amy? Oh my gosh. What's that? She's what? Okay. Well, I'm going to get on her for not being here today. Mason Mannion, the Northeast Florida Development Director for Equality Florida. Mason is going to close out today's event with a song in his beautiful voice. We thank you so much for that. My dear friend Jim Piggott, a recently retired and longtime senior reporter at News4Jax. His last story before retiring was our Pride celebration at City Hall last year, which we thought was great. Jessica Sabin, an emergency medicine physician assistant. There she is. Thank you, Jessica. And she is the founder and director of Mixer, social group for professional queer females. Manuel Andrade, a longtime healthcare advocate and medical case management program director at the Northeast Florida AIDS Network. Y'all are all over the place in here. I can't keep track of you. The incomparable Carissa Wade Davis. One of the most prolific performers and fundraisers for charities across town and case manager for Lutheran Social Services. Rashad Solomon, a patient access services representative at Baptist Health and a filmmaker known best for his documentary, Involving Me. And that's not Involving Me, that's Involving Me is the name of the... Derek Scott III, a United Methodist campus minister advocate for LGBTQ inclusion. For LGBT inclusion within the church, removed discriminatory language and policies. We appreciate you so very much. S. Marie Hester, a doula who offers workshops on inclusivity and community. Thank you so much. With additional experience in crisis response for survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence. We thank you for your support and for your involvement. And last, but certainly far from least, Cindy Watson, CEO Emerita of Jasmine, who spent decades in service to our city's LGBTQ youth. Cindy will serve as chair of the board. We are really, truly grateful for each and every one of you for stepping up to do this work. And I really have to tell you, because I know there are probably some folks who are saying, wait, what about me? This was a super difficult decision for our crew that made these choices. I mean, really difficult. We had a record number of applicants, I believe, for any board that we've ever asked for applicants for. 168 people wanted to be on this board, and we could choose only 11. So you know what? This is a really good problem to have, right? To have too much interest. So please, I have to say, it speaks to the talent and the experience and the passion of Jacksonville's LGBTQ community, and please stay involved. There will be a space for you. This will go on. Thank you to everybody who took part in the process, and I truly do hope that you'll remain involved with us. There will still be opportunities to serve on this board in the future or additional boards at the city right now. I urge you all to participate in the LGBTQ board meetings. Dozens of people joined the African American Advisory Board meetings each month, and I hope that we can see the same engagement here. So today we celebrate progress and affirm and reaffirm our unwavering commitment to justice, equality, and dignity for all. We stand united in the belief that everyone deserves to live their lives free of discrimination, violence, and fear. But guys, it's only through our collective efforts that we will continue building a community where everyone feels that sense of belonging. We stand together to do the work not only during Pride Month, but also every day of our lives as we create a safe, inclusive, and equitable city for all. With that goal in mind, I present this mayoral proclamation, which officially declares the month of June as Pride Month here in Jacksonville. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Deegan, for those comments and especially making fun of my failing eyesight. That's true. I set myself up for that one. This is very meaningful to our community, and we'll make sure that everyone gets to see it. Now it's my privilege to introduce my friend, Councilman Jimmy Peluso. But before I do so, I want to acknowledge the Dr. Rockman Johnson, councilman from District 14. And Dr. Johnson, councilman, we so appreciate your advocacy. You are one of our many heroes. You are wonderful. Thank you. Now, with that, I want to bring up Councilman Jimmy Peluso, who you all know, I know pretty well. I won't say a bunch of stuff about him because he's pretty good at tooting his own horn. But what I will say is that there is no better ally to our community that I can think of on the city council than Councilman Jimmy Peluso. And I think that's because, you know, politics, right? He represents, I think, more LGBTQ people than on a district basis than anyone else in the city, considering that he has Riverside, Avondale, Murray Hill, Springfield, and other points around the city. And downtown, where we are right now, which is enjoying an explosion of cranes and buildings are going up. And he's gonna help shepherd all of that through. Councilman Peluso, this is your time.
Thank you, Jimmy Midyat. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Mayor. What other mayors failed to do, you have done what you promised and more, and we thank you so much for your work. Of course, Jimmy Midyat stole some of my thunder. I saw Dr. Rockman Johnson, my council colleague from District 14, enter the room. Please take note of the people who show up for you. Please take note of those people who said, I care about your community, and so I will show up when it's important to you. Dr. Johnson has stood up time and time again. State Representative Angie Nixon has stood up time and time again. State Senator Tracy Davis has stood up time and time again. And Mayor Donna Deegan has stood up time and time again. And I am certain that Mayor Deegan's cousin, a dear friend of mine and a very close friend of Jimmy Midyat, former Mayor Tommy Azuri, is looking down on this right now. He was a great friend to this community and a great friend to this city. So when Jimmy said, hey, do you want to speak at this event? Of course I said yes. And I really didn't know how I wanted to do this one, because last June, not only was it the first time that we had a Pride proclamation, but this country felt a little bit different than it does today. Last year, I was able to be so hopeful and so grateful to what our government and our civic community and our business community have done for this community, for equality. Last year, I felt like things were going great, and we were going to continue that path. I'm sorry to say that this year, I don't feel that way. This year is a little bit sadder. This country feels a little bit darker. And no one wants to hear a speaker get down in the dumps. And I know you don't want that. But just like when I saw Dr. Johnson walk in here a moment ago, it made me want to say to you guys, remember who shows up. Remember who says, I care about you, I want to fight for you, I believe in X, Y, and Z. But then when a new president comes into power and they start pressuring people, don't forget who pulled away. Don't forget that Target or Budweiser, who claimed so gleefully that they believed in DEI and that they believed in supporting the LGBTQ plus community. Don't forget that they said that a couple years ago because it was the right thing to do at the time. And now, all of a sudden, because of pressure, they've abandoned you. The city of Jacksonville will never abandon you. Do not forget that when it is so easy to be afraid and to hide, we have an administration and you have fighters who will never abandon you. You belong, you matter, your presence is important. There is nothing that I can think of, short of being thrown into, I don't know, some camp in the Everglades, I guess, that they're building. Short of being thrown down there, I suppose, that would stop me from speaking as from on high that the LGBTQ plus community helped build this city, loves this city, and belongs in this city today and forever. It wouldn't matter to me if I represented Mandarin, the beaches, the north side, or anywhere else. I would still be this way because I believe that every person in this city deserves a chance to succeed regardless of how they were born, who they love, or what gender parts they have. Who gives a damn? If you want to work and live your life authentically, no government, especially if you're someone who's conservative-minded, you should believe this too, no government has any right to step into your life and tell you how to live it. You guys decide that. And as we sit here at the end of a beautiful month, at the end of a beautiful Pride, we just need to remember who turned against us when we needed their help the most. Don't forget. And a challenge to all of you, don't think that one election changes everything. There are other elections. There are future campaigns yet to be run, and there are people probably standing in this room that could even run in one of them. And beyond that, you should remember that civic engagement doesn't stop in November on that one day where you vote. It is a 365 activity. You must continually be civically engaged. I'm so proud of this new 11-member board because it helps re-emphasize that. This board will now make sure that the LGBTQ plus community has a role to play in the future of this city because they always have. And now we finally have a mayor who's uplifting them to a level where they should be. Do not forget who turned against you. Do not forget that elections are not final. We have future ones to run, and we're going to need your help to run them. Thank you all so much for allowing me to speak today. Happy Pride to all of you.
I think Councilman Peluso ate his Wheaties this morning. Or maybe it was that wheatgrass smoothie thing that he's always having. I don't. That's okay. That's Pastor Stanley's councilman right there. Well, let's keep this train moving along. Thank you, Councilman. By bringing up one of my newer friends, one of the newer friends that I've made in this work that I've done for so long. Her name is Isis Alvarez, and she's wearing pink, which I love. What I want you to know about Isis Alvarez is she works at the Nonprofit Center, and she is the newly minted Jasmine Chair of the Board of Directors. And she has little note cards, and she's going to come up and she promises that she's going to stick to those note cards. I say let her say whatever.
Y'all don't want me to go off script. Good afternoon, everyone. It's such an honor to be here with you today in the heart of our city to celebrate the vibrancy of our communities. As Jimmy mentioned, my name is Isis Alvarez. I have the absolute honor of serving as the new board chair of Jasmine. For those of you that aren't familiar, we are a local nonprofit that over 30 years has supported LGBTQ teens and young adults through services like free mental health counseling, accessible health care, and housing resources, just to name a few. Yes, give it up for Jasmine. Each service that we provide at Jasmine is designed to meet every single person, regardless of identity or background, with care, respect, and an unwavering commitment to the right of self-determination. In 2023 alone, Jasmine provided more than 600 mental health counseling sessions, made over 300 connections to HIV care, and helped nearly 250 young adults access housing support. These numbers aren't just data points. They are lives changed. They represent young people who found safety, healing, and hope through the unwavering support of this community. This celebration and this creation of this LGBTQ Advisory Board is a signal to every LGBTQ young person in our city that they belong, that their identities matter, that our community, our local government, and our leadership see them fully and without condition. And in this moment, I speak not just as a nonprofit leader, but as a Latina, as a proud immigrant, and as a woman of color. Thank you. I speak as someone who understands the importance of fighting to be seen and respected for all of the identities that you carry. At Jasmine, we know that pride isn't just a celebration. It's also the collective, unrelenting vision of creating a world where every person is loved for exactly who they are. It's a joyous call to action to build systems that affirm our lives rather than harm them. So let us celebrate today, but commit to the work ahead. Join us at Jasmine in building a Jacksonville where LGBTQ young people don't just survive, but they're allowed to thrive. Help us create a city where affirmation, equity, and belonging aren't just ideals, but instead realities woven into the very fabric of our communities. On behalf of Jasmine, thank you so much, Mayor Deegan, and the city of Jacksonville for this wonderful gathering and for your commitment to this work. Congratulations to everyone on newly selected members of the board. We are in your corner and we're ready to work with you. And to all of the LGBTQ young people here and across our city, we see you, we love you, we're fighting for you, and we are so, so, so proud of you. Happy Pride, everyone.
Thank you so much, Isis. That was exactly what we needed to hear. Moving expeditiously, I'll introduce someone who really needs no introduction. We have next up Courtney Lewis, who is the conductor, the maestro. He certainly conducts the Jacksonville Symphony Orchestra. He was kind enough to join us last year, and he's come back again. So you're our repeat, Courtney.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Courtney Lewis, and I am the music director of one of the finest orchestras in America, the Jacksonville Symphony. Last year, I spoke about my pride in Jacksonville as a progressive city. And although we haven't changed since then, today it seems almost impossible to feel optimistic about anything political in the wake of the election and the seemingly endless assaults on the personal liberty of anyone who is not a native-born, rich, white, Anglo-Saxon, cis, heterosexual male. Amidst this depressing political landscape, at the Jacksonville Symphony, we launched our most ambitious season ever in celebration of our 75th anniversary. Without stretching musical metaphors too far, we pulled out all the stops and presented a series of concerts, each of which would have been the highlight of any other season. Mahler's Second Symphony, Mozart's Requiem, Strauss's massive tone poem, A Hero's Life, and Beethoven's Emperor Concerto sat beside 4 world premieres from living composers, not one of whom was an Anglo-Saxon, white, cis, heterosexual male. We ended a few weeks ago with an enormous concert celebrating American music. Too close? Okay. Culminating in Aaron Copland's Third Symphony. And we were so happy that our mayor was there at the season's first and last concerts. Written in 1945, Copland's Third Symphony is a post-war victory ode to the best American values. It's a piece that sounds like America at its finest, as enormous and optimistic as the architecture of Chicago, as noble as Yosemite's Half Dome, generous, wholesome, international, powerful but benevolent, welcoming. It's often referred to as the greatest American symphony, and yet it was written by a diffident, gay, second-generation Jewish immigrant from Brooklyn who had recently been dragged in front of the McCarthy Senate hearings because of his socialist beliefs. The finale of Copland 3 reuses one of his most famous compositions that I'm sure you would all recognize. It was already well known at the symphony's premiere, the fanfare for the common man. By using it as the basis of the symphony's triumphant end, Copland proclaimed one of his central beliefs, that the greatness of America lies in its inclusion of everyone, and that diversity is its greatest strength. But towards the end of the symphony, something very unsettling happens. The piece grows more and more boisterous, full of hubris, kind of drunk on its own success and prowess. The fanfare for the common man is trampled down amidst a barrage of aggressive, noisy confidence and chauvinism. The music crashes to a garish halt, and everything stops dead in its tracks. I didn't understand what was happening in this passage until performing the piece for the first time a few weeks ago. In fact, in rehearsal, I had to admit to the orchestra that I really hate this part. It felt cheap and hokey, and it didn't seem to make any sense amidst the surrounding optimism. But once I'd lived through it in concert, I suddenly realized that Copland was making a prescient point. Amidst the atmosphere of glory that the country was experiencing, having won the Second World War, he wrote a musical warning to the America of the future. If you get too pleased with yourself, if you cut yourself off from others and forget that your founding values are about ordinary people, you'll lose your way and disaster will strike. So after this musical warning, a terrified, whispering piccolo begins, a plaintive solo, perhaps a musical picture of a citizen who doesn't know who's going to help them or represent them. But the fanfare for the common man returns very quietly, hidden under a series of woodwind calls. The fanfare regrounds the music and gradually brings the symphony back to its original message, the very best music for ordinary people of all kinds, creeds, and colors. We're in that disaster moment right now. We've lost our way. Everywhere we turn, we hear hatred, hubris, strong-arming and ignorant aggression, and celebrations of mean-spirited provincialism. Our country needs the correction of Copland's fanfare, a clarion call to remind us what we're all about. I'm reminded of some of the most inspiring words ever written in our country, also set by Copland in another piece. Also writing in a time of rising autocracy, Lincoln's address at Gettysburg sought to reaffirm and reset the central idea behind American democracy, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. So what's all this got to do with pride, I hear you ask? Well, I think all of us in this room now have a special opportunity to lead. We have experience dealing with oppression. We know how to fight the system. We know how to persevere, and we know how to triumph over adversity. There are many people in America today without our experience who feel scared, disenfranchised, and othered. But just as we know that over 70% of Americans support marriage equality, we know that the vast majority do not support the illegal actions of the current administration in its deportation practices, its willful disregard of the judiciary, and its cruel axing of programs. And its cruel axing of programs that help the neediest in our society. Adversity can breed unity. We can use our experience to build new bridges and find new allies in our fight against discrimination and oppression. We can lead. We're a progressive city, after all. I have pride in Jacksonville, and I was proud of our city, and especially our mayor this week, when she vetoed Ordinance 0251 TA. And they couldn't even override her veto. Her words could have been written by Aaron Copeland himself. This bill is not rooted in the common good. So as we celebrate our achievements this month and plan our fights to preserve and expand our freedoms as LGBTQ+ people, let's share our hard-won skills with others experiencing political persecution in our city. Let's lead the opposition and help to start healing our country. Sometimes it takes the immigrants, of whom I am one, the people who've chosen to be here, to remind us what is fundamentally good and unique about the American experiment, even in times like this. This year, let's not dwell on how terrible everything is. Instead, let's bring the pride that we have won in ourselves to others and fight for the America we believe in. Happy Pride, everyone.
Wow. And that's why Courtney Lewis is the music director at the Jacksonville Symphony. What an education. Thank you so much. Now, I just want to reflect. I see my friend Charlie back there holding a sign that says, "There is no LGB without the T." That's exactly right. There is an effort to divide our community. It is from a playbook as old as human political experience, to divide and conquer. And we won't let that happen. Now we're going to hear, and we're on the home stretch, we're going to hear from someone who will, I think, amplify that message. I'm going to bring up Alex Romero, who is a fellow at the Queer Trans Project, and we'll talk a little bit about the importance of trans inclusion in the efforts that we have here. He might be a little nervous.
It's too high for me. Hello, everyone. My name is Alexander Romero, and for years, I felt as if I was an island, adrift, unseen, trying to be really anyone but myself. As a gay trans man, I wrestled with my identity from a very young age. I spent countless nights praying to wake up as the opposite sex. But through years of therapy and soul searching, I committed to the greatest act of self-love I've ever committed. I transitioned. For the first time, I felt as if my life was my own to live. Transitioning didn't just save my life, it freed my soul. Yet even after finding myself, I felt alone. I didn't know anyone who shared my journey until I came to Jacksonville. This city, right here at the top of a state, often known for its very conservative stances, gave me something I never had: community. It started with my fiance, who introduced me to the vibrant network of people who welcomed me as I am. Through him, I discovered the Queer Trans Project, a Jacksonville-based nonprofit that provides free gender-affirming resources all across the United States. They've sent out binders to trans youth in rural towns, offered mental health support to those in crisis, and built a lifeline for people just like me. Their work proves that even in challenging times, hope thrives here. That hope shines brighter because of leaders like Mayor Donna Deegan. She's the first mayor in Jacksonville's history to establish an LGBTQ Advisory Board and raise a pride flag over our beautiful city hall. But these aren't just symbols. They're promises of a city that sees us, that hears us, and fights for us. Knowing we have a mayor who champions diversity makes me feel safer. And I know I'm not alone in needing that right now. But this progress isn't just about leaders. It's about all of us. People who run organizations like Jasmine, our LGBTQ Youth Center, or who fought for the Human Rights Ordinance to protect our rights. It's about you here today, showing up to make Jacksonville a place where no one feels like an island. I stand here at the second annual Jacksonville Pride Proclamation filled with gratitude and purpose. This city has given me hope, strength, and a reason to keep moving forward. But our work isn't done. Let's keep fighting for a Jacksonville where every person, trans, queer, black, any ethnicity, any type of person, or otherwise, can live authentically. Join the Queer Trans Project, support Jasmine, or advocate for inclusive policies. Together, we can build a city that's not just a home, but a beacon of love and acceptance. Thank you for standing with me. Together, we're unstoppable.
I think that young man has a future in this. And now we'll transition to a member of the mayor's LGBTQ Advisory Board, as a matter of fact. I'd like to bring up my friend, Derek Scott III, who he and I are both Methodists. So I'm thinking of the Wesley tradition and how we have a rich tradition in our faith of lay leaders, of people actually doing the work, no matter where you sit in some hierarchy. And so, Minister Scott, would you please come and share a benediction?
Friends, receive this benediction and blessing in a spirit of love and affirmation. This is a poem adapted called Praise Be by the author in Flesh. Praise be to the creator of queer and trans wonders, the creator of bodies made perfect through self-love, the creator of love that is expansive, of holiness that is unique, of lines blurred and certainty troubled, to the creator of the particular beauty birth from determination to be, to the creator of becoming, of multifacetedness, of community and knowing the joy and the struggles, to the creator of generations of proudly weird, of solidarity, of tenderness, of togetherness, to the creator of ever unfolding ways of being, of families made in endless variations, of will not hide, and surviving in forced hiddenness, to the creator of the unafraid, of the trembling but persisting, to the creator of sacred connection in flesh, in heart, in shared resources, and in being with and for one another. Praise be to the one who loves, to the one who is love. And so may that love bless you and keep you. May that love's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May that love be lifted up before you and give you peace. Amen. Ashe. Amen.
I just want to thank you all so much for joining us here today to commemorate this Pride proclamation by Mayor Deegan, to welcome the new LGBTQ Advisory Board into being, and to just be together in community during this Pride Month that means so much to us. To close us out and to play us out, my dear friend Mason Mannion is going to share something with us. A long time ago, whenever I was doing a different kind of work, Mason was kind enough to play this song for me at a fundraiser that I was involved in. And it's just, he has such a way of embodying the moment with this song. So Mason, please say anything you'd like to, and the stage is yours. And then we'll be done once Mason.
Good afternoon, everybody, and don't worry, I sing very quickly. I just want to say what an honor it is to be part of this advisory council and to have grown up in Jacksonville my whole life. To see us having something even like this here in City Hall is really inspiring. So I'm excited and I'm grateful to work with you. This song I'm about to sing was written by Bob Dylan, who fortunately is not known for his angelic voice because I'm a bit hoarse this morning, but he is known for his beautiful words that he writes. And this song in short says, either get with the program or get the hell out of the way. Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changing. Come writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no telling who that it's naming. For the loser now will be later the win, for the times they are a-changing. Come senators and congressmen and city councilmen and school board members, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall, for he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. There's a battle outside and it's raging. It'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls, for the times they are a-changing. Come mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can lend a hand, for the times they are a-changing. The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast. It's the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now will later be last, For the times they are a-changing. For the times they are a-changing. For the times they are a-changing.
Please enjoy the rest of your day. And happy Pride.